Alright, there we are back with the bands for another semi-final match, and this time we have Angry Pandas versus R3D Chimaera and Tasty Bacon. You have seen Angry Pandas, you have seen R3D Chimaera. Who do you think is going to take it down?
I mean, it really depends on which Angry Pandas team plays in these games. We saw it yesterday in their quarterfinal matchup. They destroyed Red Prometheus and then got destroyed by Red Prometheus and then destroyed Red Prometheus again. So their consistency is an issue that I think they definitely have. If the team that played in games 1 and 3 in the quarterfinal shows up, then it's gonna go to Angry Pandas hands down. But if they play like they did in game 2, then they're gonna have a lot of trouble, and it could very easily go over to Red Chimera in that case. But that consistency is going to be a big thing for them. Will they play at the top of their game or at the bottom of their game? And that's the problem, is that there's such a huge disparity between that.
Well, we do have the informations already who's going to play, at least for the first match, and that's Leia, Tony Luo, and Xuan. I believe that is actually the roster they played on when they won their matches against the other red team.
Yeah, they used that same roster for all 3 games.
I weren't sure if they played in the first one with Tombrider. I wasn't quite sure if he got opt-in for one of the matches, but okay. I mean, yeah, obviously also they need to play as strong to take them down. And actually, that is also in this one. It's Jetpack's Red Wolf, which are probably like playing together forever already. And in the other red team, we had Rev 29, Rocco Freddy, and then we had Illohawk and Waldemar, and all of them, they play together for a while, but you can't compare it to the experience Red Wolf and Jetpacks have together. And also, those two are so strong and aggressive players.
Yep.
And then you have Cream, and Cream is, I don't have even words for it. It's a very, very strong player, very solid, and he's normally never doing any stupid decisions. Like that's what I know from him. And for Red Wolf and Jetpacks, they are like not doing over aggressive decisions. They are always super aggressive, but on point. So that I mean, it's the first time we're seeing them, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Jetpacks and Red Wolf are pulling together with Cream, obviously. And man, I want to see the third match. Also, if we're only in the first or before the first one, but still.
Okay, we are in the party lobby. Everyone is here, so we are almost ready to start here the bands. I will keep you up to date whenever I have here the first band coming in from Angry Pandas, having the opportunity here to ban the first hero. Can be anyone.
Yeah,
but since we are on 1.8,
right? Honestly, who do you want to ban against them? There's so much they can play. We all know, for a matter of fact, that they can play from Koshkas, Takas, Jules, Ringos, Voxes, Celeste. It's like everything is possible. And then you have the supporter. You can go for the Kath super easily if she's not getting banned. Arden, always an option, and for high skilled teams, obviously, the option is also often for an Adagio, which we saw in NA, I believe, as well, the triple ranged comp.
Yes, that is...
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
Fortress, totally forgot about that, because we saw Fortress as well.
Yeah,
in the Nemesis
wow.
versus Gangsters.
That was super strong. That was really good.
I didn't expect it to come out as well at all in the 1.8 qualifier, but somehow it got picked, and it worked out.
It worked out, and that was really good. So waiting for Angry Pandas.
Yeah, so
is Arden is the ban, and that is, I think, the first Arden ban from the whole quarterfinals, from the semifinals. Haven't seen any Arden ban. Catherine twice or 3 times as well.
But you see what I'm talking about, because it's so difficult to ban a laner or and carry in jungle. They are picking now supports to ban, because it's more easier to target a specific team comp if you target the support, since there are not as many like very well, strong supports at the moment. It's just a handful, actually 3, most likely.
Yeah, that's right. Since Finn is not here, we are playing on 1.8 tournament servers. If you're asking yourself, where are the nice pumpkins I see on my game? Yes, we are missing the beautiful pumpkins as well, but this is 1.9 and we are playing on 1.8 because we started on 1.8 in an esport. It's common sense to continue the event where you started, and once more to mention that a few players are testing, of course, also new patches, and they have a little bit early bird access to that to change to check for some bugs. And of course they might adapt to the new meta a bit faster, so we don't want to give anyone here advantages, or better to say disadvantages. So there is the Rona ban from Red Wolf coming in. That is super interesting. Plus the first pick, Leia is now securing Catherine. So do you think that was the tactic here from Angry Pandas?
I mean, banning an Arden, then waiting on a second ban, or the second ban from Red, and probably not guessing that they are banning Kath, just because it's not very likable to happen.
Yeah.
And or likely to happen, and then knowing for a matter that they are first pick, locking down the Kath leaves only open an Adagio and Fortress, a Glaive. Oh yeah, totally forgot Glaive there, but that is not happening quite often anymore. That Glaive is actually getting picked as a support, but also totally doable. We will see. We will see about that in just a second, I guess, what Red is going to answer into this.
Yeah, Red has no option here other than banning a Rona or something super strong from Angry Pandas. Yeah, therefore Catherine here definitely a strong pick, but I think we will see Adagio on the side from Red Chimera, maybe even in the first round of choice here, which is happening in just a second. They are now able to pick 2 heroes. Maybe I don't know, could be anything.
While we are waiting on them to pick, I have some Twitter, since I'm browsing about Twitter as well, looking what we are getting tweeted at, and where Face VG, I believe, is the leader or one of the leaders of Gamers 2, which just made it into the finals. And well, he just tweeted us, "The comeback is real. We got out-drafted in both games, but now game 3 without draft and bans." That totally worked out for them, and yeah, it really looked like that those bans were targeted with the Rona ban, and then getting it picked away in the first match as well, and then in the third one it was open, and we saw Dark Potato actually on the Rona, and Radix playing in beautiful Celeste. So
yeah, Vox and Jewel it is for Red. It looks super solid. Vox, obvious pick. I would have suggested now something else here, since now if Angry Pandas is going, for example, for a carry Adagio lane, we have seen that in VIPL, that would put Red in a very, very interesting spot.
Well, they would be forced to pick Fortress or Glaive, most likely, or they play a tank Jewel.
That would be super interesting.
We saw it, but interesting more is that they took Jewel away from Angry Pandas, because they played Jewel quite strongly on Xuan.
Yeah, oh my god,
critted
that guy.
So immense. The first match was but he got better and better, and so that could be also a pick just to take it away from Angry Pandas. Interesting. Mind games are going on, and the big question is still, Red, who is going and what are you going to play as a support?
Tony Lure here requesting 1 second.
Over.
Taka is open. We know that, and we know that Tony Lure is one of the MVPs of round 4, I think. Yeah, we have seen him the previous rounds playing Tucker. Super solid. Have a few nice scenes catch there, thrown in together from Rumbly Superset into a video. I think we can show that one later on, but maybe Taka is a choice here. I'm not 100% comfortable with that though, since I think You need something strong to counter that. Maybe Scarf Glaive could be interesting here. Celeste Glaive, but we will see about that. Yeah, so still no reaction here. A lot of discussion seems going on Angry Panda, since so much stuff is across the board. And not only the money, but much more likely the trip to Seoul. VIPL, where the big money happens. I mean, 15 grand for qualifiers, that's not too bad. We have a second qualifier coming up as well, so if you guys who are watching interested to participate, get some points for the live events, because this is where all this is leading to have an open eye on our website vaingloryleague.com for the news and the updates. Adagio and Taka. That is what I'm talking about. Adagio forcing Red into some super interesting stuff.
Honestly, I feel like both teams got dragged away with this. They are not picking comps which are they are feeling super comfortable with. They are more or less picking something, so the enemy team is feeling even less comfortable on their picks. That's how it looks, at least from the outside. We just need to wait. I mean, I'm very curious what is going to come into that from Team Red.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, what are we missing here? We have Crystal, Vox most likely in lane, played either by Red or by Red Wolf or by Jetpacks. And then the Jewel is most likely going to be a weapon crit Jewel. I can't see a Crystal Jewel incoming, and I don't believe that they are playing a support Jewel. It is totally possible, and it works, but...
Okay, I see two picks here. I see Cool going super tank for the very late damage, and or Glaive, also known as in former patches being super strong. He has the highest base HP. We have to point that out. From the very beginning, he has the highest base HP.
But how can he keep Vox safe? There's no chance.
Afterburn. That's the only
with
thing.
What? Taka's just jumping in and wrecking.
Yeah, I know, but maybe Cool, maybe Glaive. I don't know what they're going for. Super interesting to see. Tank Scarf meta is not happening. Yeah, it was happening.
So far from the draft, I do see if they are playing a good Adagio, which is totally possible because we saw how skilled they are. I do see Angry Pandas getting out of this draft.
Yeah, Red Wolf is requesting a minute, please. A real 1 minute. Totally free here to have the time, since now the mind games seriously have begun. And that is super crazy that they seriously went for the Adagio. Yeah, most likely. I mean, what is he going for? Attack speed in lane? Weapon power? Attack
Adagio?
speed? I think there is no other
Adagio
way.
is going to play lane, for sure, certain. I mean, Catherine.
Cool.
Possible.
There we go.
Yeah, that's totally right. That's a very good choice, actually. They probably waited until it came up on stream as what does Blueberry say?
Yeah, exactly.
Oracle us. No, they could actually not hear that since the stream is delayed on 3 minutes, and we have our full drafts. Still quite shaky what Red ended up picking there. I'm not sure if that is their 100% comfort zone. But we will see, and as players are loading into the Halcyon Fold, I will shoot it over to Tasty Bacon and Blueberries to cast the first matchup between Angry Pandas and Red Chimaera in just a second.
Welcome to the Halcyon Fold. It's the semi-final, the second one here, and R3D Chimaera is fighting from the red side, going to the left, and from the blue side, from the left, it is Angry Pandas. They are having an interesting draft here, very interesting decision, and still with me, Tasty Bacon from North America here, casting this match together with me. How do you feel about that draft?
You know, I think what you guys said was there's a lot of accuracy in the statement of it almost feels like Angry Pandas maybe forced themselves in, like, read into this whole, you know, blocking out all the supports thing a little too much, because now they don't have one of the top 3 laners on their team because they opted to instead take this Adagio just to prevent any real supports going over. But I mean, they're going to be perfectly fine with picking up the Jewel with the Iron Guard contract as a support, as now they're going to have a big fight here. Jewel's actually the one who's going to be paying, though, and it will be Angry Pandas picking up the first kills. I may have to eat my words at the end of this game. We'll have to see, but I really don't... I'm not a huge fan of the Adagio in lane. Yeah, it's viable, but it's not ideal. You know, picking a Celeste or a Scarf, I feel just does significantly better, and I just think they focused a little bit too heavily on trying to deny a support, because putting the Jewel on the Iron Guard contract isn't that bad of a play either. Like, it's kind of like the Adagio in lane. It's viable, it's not ideal, but it's still viable. And so you're sacrificing a big laner just to force your opponent onto a second tier roamer.
And we see that Leia is going for a crystal bit, so no attack speed, what I assumed from the very beginning, and the first blood had been made on Cream. In the meantime, Tony Lua here going in. Nice block from the damage. Swan going on jetpacks. There is a stun not landing. Thunderstrike missed as well. And now they are forced to be split apart. Oh, nice damage. Jetpacks here, forcing 2 enemies into another Scout Trap, and Swan might fall into the next Thunderstrike. That is missing. Well played from Swan, and he's going to escape that one. Another dodge, and look at that play. He is not outplaying Cream in the end, but definitely fun to watch here.
Yeah, now Tony Luau needs to be careful going back in. Will be able to get up to the lane, but such a close play. Juan almost outplaying the Jewel, but getting caught by that leap in the end and hit up by the stun. Nothing you can do when that health is that low and you get stunned. It's pretty much the end. Red Wolf now actually trying to deny Leia, and we see this happen so frequently. A laner will go and try and pick up some extra farm in the enemy jungle, only to get caught out after killing, you know, maybe one camp. Leia wants to try and return a kill on the Red Wolf, saying, you know, if you're going to take me down, I want to try and at least take one with me, but he will not be able to. And in the end, it is going to be Red Chimaera with a big advantage off of that fight.
Okay, good start. 1-2. Even gold. Angry Pandas, seed number 8 versus R3D Chimaera, seed number 2, or maybe, so to say, the first seed. We don't know. At least they share the first 2 seeds with the whole team. It was R3D, Prometheus, and Chimaera. And Tony Lowe here on the bottom of the jungle going for jetpacks. They are going for some damage. Red Wolf is connecting, bouncing both enemies. Oh, what a damage now from jetpacks. Didn't see that coming. Well applied here, the stacks.
Yeah, the spectral smite from jetpacks, as well as the damage from the rotations coming down. But right now, they're going for the aggressive invasion. Tony Luau and Juan just trying to clear out their jungle before Red can come in and take it for themselves, but it's going to leave Leia in a really bad position, as they're just going to rotate up into this lane. Oh boy, this is going to be very ugly. Does get avoid the stun just barely, but takes a ton of damage in the process, having to rotate over, joining his team. But of course, with the Adagio, does have some healing available, so is going to be okay.
Alright, in the meantime we see the percentage from the community here, whereas Angry Pandas are the underdog with just 7.5% of the community or the viewers as a backup, and the favorite so far, Red Chimaera, 92.5%. Definitely here concerning the viewers will be going out of this matchup as the winner being a finalist against Gamers 2. And that will be definitely epic, no matter who is facing Gamers 2. The finals, I can't wait for them. And they are tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait here. In the meantime, Leia falling down to a well-prepared gank from Red.
And actually, Tony Luo going in aggressively as well. Not going to get anything off of that, though. Instead, it's going to be Jetpacks now looking for Juan. But Kroll is not going to be able to catch Taka at this stage of the game. Over Tony Luo coming down looking for a save. They're so tanky that not much is going to happen here. Just a bunch of scout traps going off around the map. But this could have maybe been a opportunity to pick up that gold mine. They are going to wait on it though, as now it would be way too risky. But right now it's definitely looking like Red has the advantage in this game, and I do like their team composition a lot better than what was picked up by Angry Pandas here for game 1. Doing a good job of keeping the Taka down. 0-1, only 27 CS for him. He does have more CS than the Kroll, but Kroll is 0-2, as now we have a big 3-on-3 fight.
Ultimate casted from Leia. Jetpacks in. Everyone low health from Red. And look at that. Maybe Angry Pandas. There comes to wait for the 2-on-1. Nice damage output so far. Tony Luo here connecting to the enemies. But they are going back. And that team fight looked pretty solid for Angry Pandas though.
Yeah, nice job by Angry Pandas. Able to keep Leia healthy in the backlines there. A lot of the focus from Red is going to be put onto Juan on this Taka, and rightfully so. However, you can't put everything onto him if you're not able to kill him quickly, because it is just going to be healed up, and you're going to have the protector in the form of Catherine. Not only Catherine, but also Adagio able to provide some heals, but they are going to catch out Jetpacks. Angry Pandas starting to, their team fight cohesion is just looking very good. Tony Luo maybe having to sacrifice himself.
Wow.
No, he's just going to use Merciless Pursuit to run right past Cream and Red Wolf. Although they may have stayed a little bit too close, too long. They are going to pick up the kill. A great rocket leap from Cream, getting the stun and able to pick up a kill back in the favor of Red Chimaera.
Alright, well done here. Good fight so far. That looked pretty solid for both teams. And yeah, as you said, a little bit of an overstay from Angry Pandas being here super aggressive and showing Red that they can't really play or make use of the play style they are used to, being aggressive and zone out the enemy ASAP. Gold miner, I don't think that Tony Luo can steal it. Oh, that was super close.
Great rocket leap going to lock Tony Luo inside the team for a bit longer. That will be long enough for a kill. And with that gold payout, now the Red is going to be in the lead in terms of gold and kills. They were behind despite having the kill advantage, but now they are the ones that have the advantage and are going to be looking to carry that over into other aspects of the game. A lot of vision being put down by both sides, which is always good to see. Vision is so important in Vainglory, to be able to tell where your opponents are and base your plays on that information.
So whoever is going to lose this match is fighting in the next match against Alliance. So we have a question mark versus Alliance coming up next as the third place match here. And the winner is going to fight in the finals versus no other team than Gamers 2 tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Again, 5-3 right now in favor of Red Chimaera. Just going to be looking for some more picks. They have such a pick-oriented composition. Really, between the Jewel and Kroll are so good at finding someone out of position, and then you have the stun or knockback from Jewel, and then Kroll, of course, with the Shiver Steel, able to slow opponents instantly and just keep them from getting to the safety of their teammates. So gonna have to keep an eye on the positioning of every member of Angry Pandas, because even though they are Tony Luo on this Catherine is going to be rather tanky, if he gets caught out of position, it's still a pretty easy kill with the composition that Red has put together.
Okay, next fight coming up. Tony Luo here in the middle of everyone. Just a little scrimmage, bit of damage. Leia buffing up himself. Yeah, and I mean, oh, there comes a stun on Leia, double stun on Leia. Look at that damage. Red Wolf here receiving also damage from Swan, who has a tension bow up. There comes a lot of block in and a big red button revealing Swan, and he might fall to Jetpack Smite. Oh, 2-0 trade for Red.
Spectral Smite not actually used there, so he does still have it available.
Yeah.
But does indeed decide to back off instead. Jetpacks and Cream doing so well on that pick. I mean, that was Angry Pandas were together, and just the composition of this Jewel Kroll able to force a pick even while the enemy team is grouped. It was a great ultimate throw by Jetpacks, followed up with a phenomenal rocket leap as well. And you know, it's Adagio has the ability to help keep a teammate alive or himself, but if he's stunned for the entire duration of his health bar going from 100 to 0, there's just nothing that he can do. And there's really no support, nothing that can help keep him alive if he's the one that is getting to focused down.
Next scrimmage going on here. Swan in the middle trying to focus Red Wolf down. And look at that stun from Leia. Wait for it coming out here from Red Wolf. And everyone is going to fall, but Tony Luo is surviving. Again, a 2-0 trade for Red.
Red Wolf doing a phenomenal job of positioning on the backside of that fight. Able to avoid the damage. He dropped extremely low, but was able to use that sonic zoom to stay on the back lines and keep himself alive. Juan was really looking to try and get that kill, but again, we're just seeing the positioning in these fights from Red is currently superior. They're doing such a good job of making sure that Taka cannot get rolling. Does have that tension bow complete, but still sitting at 1, 3, and 2 with 59 CS. They've, normally at this point in the game, a Taka that's gonna be playing the way Taka is almost expected to, would normally have like 3 or 4 kills by this point, if not more.
So he is going the way tension bow first, not a sorrel blade. Using the Kaku here, seeing jetpacks, but that is the wrong target, since Cream is here, and using the X-Retsu to go out. A lot of damage from Cream and Red Wolf, melting down here enemy lines, and that is the first ace of the match for Team Red.
That was a huge big red button. The other thing I want to touch on with this Taka is that last pick Kroll was so important. Kroll is such a hard counter to Taka as well. I mean, early on, if Taka's able to abuse the fact that Kroll is weak early on, they don't finish off the turret. Have to go back for that last hit, but Taka can abuse Kroll really hard early because of how weak Kroll is in the early game. But if they don't do that, and Angry Pandas didn't do that this game, Kroll is so good against Taka in the later stages of the game if he's kept in check, because of the fact that Taka relies so heavily on the crit damage and just constantly critically people with that passive, whereas Kroll, slows his attack speed, puts on a shield to protect against crits, and it really can just completely shut down Taka, and it's exactly what we're seeing here from this match. Jetpacks and Cream, again, they combined so well early on to make sure that Juan didn't get off to that massive lead that Taka's like to try and get off to, and because of that, this game is going heavily in favor of Red Chimaera now.
Yeah, as we see from the gold here, that is a lot of difference after just almost 15 minutes. And as you said from the beginning, maybe Angry Pandas here a bit too much focused on locking down away here another supporter from the enemy team. Tony Luo going in for the stun, and there comes some damage, and the stun from Cream plus another, and there comes the blast tremor from Tony Luo being silenced here, or doing a silence on the enemy team. Big red button from Cream, but Jetpacks is finishing off at first, and Leia falling from the tank. Nice rocket leap as well. So 4-1 in 10. That is a pretty strong supportive duel here played by Cream from France. He is a player. So that is a good comp, and Angry Pandas will definitely have another plan in the second draft selection.
Yeah, Red Chimera is just too tanky at this point. Taka is unable to just jump in and assassinate anybody. Cream on this duel is absolutely on point with these rocket leaps. 14-3 now with a 9,000 gold lead. This is a massive lead at this point in the game. I mean, we were talking about 5k gold leads at 20 minutes in our first semifinal matchup. This is almost double that at 16 minutes. Red Chimera is so far ahead in this game. They should be able to just close this one out. They have the base open, so they can just force a fight here at Kraken, or that's what they're doing. They're trying to find a pick. They get one onto Zhuan. Here goes the fight. Zhuan's going to try and jump into the backlines, but again, just nowhere near enough damage. He is down. Leia is down. Tony Luo is down. That is another ace, a triple kill for Red Wolf. This is going to be Kraken. This may not be game because there is still only 20 seconds on these death timers, but it's looking like it's going to lead to game one going in favor of Red Chimera here.
I mean, in general, if this is going to be game for Red, where I think it might be the game for Red, even if it's just 17 minutes in the game, but I think they will close it up, and then we hopefully see Angry Pandas as we have seen them yesterday. And this is so interesting how the bans and the draft mode can actually impact your game, your play style, the team synergy, anything. And yeah, we will see if this is already the final push here from Team Red.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to win every fight, and absolutely, I think you guys hit the nail on the head there, saying that maybe Angry Pandas sort of outdrafted themselves by going for this double typical support. And there's going in for the last fight. Red looking on Leia. Zhuan again tries to get onto the back lines, but is unable to. Big red button going into the base. Not going to connect with anything. Leia going to get stunned up once again and taken out this time. Kraken has hardly been touched. First turret is down. This is certainly going to be the game as the second turret is about to fall. It doesn't matter if they get ace. The Kraken will destroy the crystal. So they're just going to continue fighting, and they still haven't lost a single member. They'll wait for it, picking up a kill, and Kraken will be on the crystal. Game one going to Red Chimera.
Yep, well played. Good job here from Red Chimera, winning 19-3, being super solid, super strong at the moment here versus Angry Pandas. And we have seen Angry Pandas in a totally different performance yesterday at the quarterfinals. They didn't change the roster yet as far as I see. So we will see what it's all about. I think the duel for Swan, he's now playing on Taka. Tony Luo was not playing Taka, pastime MVP. Very, very interesting stuff going on there at Angry Pandas roster and changes. Yeah, then the picks overall, and then we talked about the bans. But talking about the bans, I would suggest jumping directly into the second draft and ban.